Hello everyone and welcome to the Curios Cast Valentines special. Welcome back everyone to the Curios Cast. This is our Valentine's Day 2021 special.
Hello boys.
How you doing, Tom? How you doing, Rob?
Good.
I'm good.
You feeling all loved up?
Oh yeah, I've got my little can of John Smith's ready to go. I'm just gonna crack her open.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I love that sound.
I'm absolutely gutted I don't have a beer now. I just noticed what you did there, Tom. Very clever.
Yeah. I'll try and fit the word love into everything.
So we're gonna bring a bit of love to your lives this episode.
What's love in Dutch, George?
Hou, I think, hou, because you say ik hou van jou when you say I love you.
Hou van jou.
Hou van jou. How maybe? I might be wrong.
Right.
I'm sure Lynn will correct me when she listens to the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably completely wrong.
Huh?
Because obviously she listens.
Oh, she does. Yeah,
Does she actually?
She gives me abuse and pointers.
Nice.
What? I don't know what I was about to say then. What were you going to say? You was going to say something.
I was just going to say, today's all about Valentine's, love, etc.
Some lovely stories.
So, yeah, I've got some lovely love stories.
Mine are probably not lovely. I've gone maybe the other end of the spectrum, but
mine's subjectively lovely.
Well, mine is quite lovely. So what I'll do is I'll go last so we can finish on a nice, lovely story, round it up, just like the news does.
Exactly.
So who's going first?
Oh, I'm so jealous of your fucking beer, George.
See that?
It's on your tash, yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Go on, I'll go first
I'll
if you
zoom
want.
in on
that. Go on, I'll
and
get
we'll see.
for you.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's a zoom. That's a thumbnail for you.
Yeah. All right. Are you going, Rob?
Yeah, go on, I'll go for it. So, mine that I've got, there's a couple of things I want to talk about, but we'll see how much time we get. The first thing I've got is toy boy aged 31 dating a 91-year-old great-grandmother has fetish for pensioners. So
who doesn't?
I think I've heard about this one. And it's probably not as uncommon as you think, but I've definitely heard a similar story.
Yeah, it rang a bell to me, and I'm sure there are multiple people, not just this lad, but this lad loves it especially. I mean, I guess that's an especially large age gap, isn't it? He basically goes on to talk about it. An extreme toy. I love to call him extreme toy boy. It's a great phrase. An extreme toy boy dates women more than 3 times his age, and his relationship with is in a relationship with a 91-year-old great grandmother.
How old was he? Sorry.
He is 31, so just about to say that. Yeah, baby-faced.
Okay.
I love his baby-faced as well.
31.
Baby-faced Kyle Jones, 31, from Augusta, Georgia. That's Australia, yeah? Is that? Oh no, it's America.
It's America.
Of course, it's America. Fucking hell. Dates numerous pensioners. At a time.
What a lad.
Even takes them home to meet his 50-year-old mother. For the last 5 years, he's been in a casual relationship with 91-year-old Marjorie McCall. That's such a classic old person name as well. Despite the 60-year age gap, the pair have an active sex life and can't keep their hands off each other.
Oh,
savage, isn't it? Kyle, who lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, said everyone's brain is wired differently. Some guys prefer blondes, some brunettes, some like other guys. I like old ladies. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, older woman, yeah, but when it gets to geriatric woman...
Yeah, I mean, I'll send the link quickly, because...
I'm really confused as well, because they don't even live near each other. Like, Georgia and fucking Pennsylvania are, like, really far apart.
Is it? Okay, well, it's a casual relationship, you know, so...
I bet he just roams the country, doesn't he? Just looking for old snatch.
Well, I've dropped in the chat in here, it's a bit easier.
Snatch.
Well, he does. He has a few. So, this is a casual relationship. He has another one that's like 68 years.
I've seen this dude before.
Have you seen him?
I think so, yeah.
The call centre worker
is it
was
weird
just
that
18.
I recognise the woman?
But to be fair, I mean, she's doing all right for 90, isn't she?
She doesn't look
91.
It's just weird, just like on like first reactions of just looking at the picture of them two kissing. It's just like this visceral reaction of just like, don't do that.
There is a video. There's a video that I watched in it. You should watch it later because just for this one line in it, right? He says like, I should have wrote down exactly what he says, but it's something along the lines of, some people, that's it. People don't like to think of their grandparents having sex, but they do have sex, and some of them might be having sex with me. I thought that was like thug life video.
Yeah, that is good.
Glasses coming over him.
That sounds like a threat.
It does, doesn't it? But
That's something you'd say on Xbox Live.
Isn't it? So she'd been single for 37 years, and then he met her in like a shop and chirped her up. She worked in a shop. She works, which I find pretty fair play. Still working, maybe just out of boredom, volunteering or something. Look. So her sons, she's got, my family consists mostly of boys. They don't really care what I do as my business. Their ages are 71, 63, 61, 52 and 50.
Jesus.
So like, obviously like, they're considerably older than him as well. They must think it's weird.
Yeah.
I just think that's mad, like, really old people, like 90s, late 80s, when their sons and daughters are in their 60s. It must be really
crazy,
weird,
isn't it?
Really weird for like the parents. Seeing their kids like really old,
like seeing their kids retire and like getting their pensions and shit.
Yeah, strong. It is weird.
And shagging Kyle Jones or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's got an active sex life, and and he says this. Often the things women are self-conscious about is what I'm into. I like the necklines and wrinkles. Women worry about their boobs sagging, but I think the natural hang looks great. I'm not really a fan of plastic surgery. I don't like to say grey. I'm a fan of platinum hair. He says, due to his girlfriend's advancing years, most relationships face a bleak future. Perhaps I would like meet the right person and settle down, but I know they would die before me.
But that's his plan. He's just not into commitment, right? So he just, he's like, I really want a girlfriend, but I don't really want it to last too long, and I just hate going through the whole breakup thing. I hate breaking, like, you know what? Well, she's going to die in 6-7 years at least.
They probably don't want presents as well, do they? Like, when you get older, you're not that big on presents and shit, so cheap.
That's a great tactic. don't want presents. Can't be fucked to buy presents. I'll just bang a 90-year-old.
Yeah. And you can just pretend they're going senile whenever like you have an argument or whatever, and be like.
I try and do that. I try and say that to Lynn, but I never get away with it. I never get away with I've forgotten something because
you said I could shag the neighbour. Like, what? It was your idea. Like, really? Oh, I don't know.
There is one bit in it though where it says, I think it might have been in the video, not in this article, but like he's also seen this like 68-year-old. The video's super weird. There's so much content of them kissing. Like there's like them kissing for a good like 30 seconds while something talks. Like, why are you showing them kiss so much? And it comes back to it again of them kissing again. I'm like, stop doing that, please. Like it's just weird anyway. Like just to show any two people just kissing for so long when it's not, it doesn't need that. And when he kisses the 90-year-old, it's very weird. But yeah, like she says, I was a bit jealous at first, but I can't. What are you gonna do? Kind of thing. It's one of those classic, like, I think we spoke about this before, when there's like, polyamorous relationships. It always seem like someone's a bit like not that up for it, but she's at least like, well, whatever. Like, I'm happy. I'm having a great time. I didn't think I could do things like I would do. I've surprised myself in the bedroom. I mean, it's pretty good for her. You can't, she must be having a sick time. Who'd have thought it when you were like 90? You'd be like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, if I'm 90 and I get to bang anyone, I'll be fucking.
I don't think I'll be doing anything when I'm 90. I'll just be like a potato.
Yeah, she's probably walking about. She's,
shagging.
sucking off Kyle. Yeah.
Maybe that's the secret. It's the secret. Like whenever there's a story in the paper of world's oldest person, and they always at the end say their secret to long life. It's normally like a glass of wine a day or like smoking every day. Her one might be noshing him off twice a day for the past couple of years is keeping her young.
Is that what you tell them?
Oh, rejuvenated.
Wasn't there someone drinking rejuvenated semen in another thing I spoke about? Dolphin semen?
No. There was someone
dolphin blood.
bathing
Dolphin
in
blood.
dolphin blood. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there a woman as well we spoke about who was collecting semen for her face? Maybe that was a bit different. She was using it as like moisturiser. She was,
oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, we were saying that's just nothing moisturising about that, is it? It'd be like dry.
Well, I've heard a lot of different things. Like, I've heard quite a lot online, I guess, that like cum is genuinely like a good moisturiser, like it's good for your skin and shit like that. But I don't know if it's actually true or if it's just blokes online, trying to like spread the word, like just put it out there, like literally planting the seeds and like letting people spread this fake news that I don't mind. Like
there's got to be a few. There's definitely a few things like that you later find out. You're like, like that was just bullshit that people have spread that I always thought was. We spoke about that before, haven't we?
Like the Frosty's kid is not dead.
Yeah. It's getting,
I like here, it says in the article, it says Kyle's mum, Cecilia, who's 50, initially thought it was a phase her son was going through. She said, I think a lot of children have crushes on their teachers, so it didn't strike me as strange. It's like, that is completely different. Like, kids having crushes on their teachers is because the kids are 16 and the teachers are 24.
It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
I wonder, I guess he's thinking like maybe when he first started talking about it, he was like, I don't know. It's a weird justification, isn't it? And there's another really weird bit in the video where
his mum's pretty fit, to be fair.
Yeah, she's all right. There's a bit where they're sat down and it's his mum and her sat there and they're sort of chatting, and she's got like some photo of her, like I guess when she was younger. Like this is the older woman. Covered in like cream or something, like quite an intimate photo, and the mum's like, "Oh, you're a bit younger there, weren't you?" Like, yeah, and it's like, it's sort of like, "Oh, weren't you, dear?" And it's all of it. I don't know what's going on there.
Was he not into the younger version of her? Was he like?
Yeah, probably. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, get that away from me. What is that? What is that straight skin?
This is funny, right?
Straight skin.
My mates, like, sort of, it's like a running joke, or maybe it's true, but it's a running joke. They take the piss out of me because they say that I'm like well into older women, but it's because my current girlfriend is 3 months older than me. One of my ex-girlfriends was 1 month older than me, and then there's one or two girls that I was seeing for a short amount of time that were like a couple months. Like the most I think any of these girls were older than me by was 10 months or something like that. It was always within a year, but it's just stuck that now it's like, oh yeah, Tom, you like an older woman. It'll just be like a granny on TV. Like if this article came up amongst me and my friends, they'd be like, oh Tom, it's you. Like, but
well, that's interesting you say that as well, because again in the video there's like one of his mates who sort of talks about it, and he's like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but whatever, like we just let him get on with it, if he's happy. I mean, he's not doing any harm. He's not doing If anything, it's like the ultimate. Like the people go to like old people's houses to like do nice stuff for them. It's the ultimate one of them. Like, what's the nicest thing you can do for an old lady?
Yeah.
Bang her.
People probably see him out and about.
That's a really dark thing to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Consensually, if they're really into you and they love you, that would be a really nice thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think that's in like the
Let me draw a line under that.
Hospice code of conduct.
It's not their motto, probably, is it? It's probably not.
How often do you think that he'll be out in the streets, shopping, all that kind of shit, and someone probably sees him and think, oh, look at that nice young man helping that old lady across the road, and then he gets the other side and just gives her a snog or like grabs her ass. Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's me and my friends play.
Hey, get off of her.
It's come up a couple of times where like it happened one night. We were in a pub. There was a guy, and we were like, he couldn't work out if it was his girlfriend or his daughter. So we call it obviously girlfriend or daughter. Every time you see one, you're like, girlfriend or daughter. For some reason, one of my friends said, "Put your hands out," and then I went, "What?" And he was like, "Girlfriend or daughter." The putting your hands out had nothing to do with anything, but that's now become the thing. Like if we see one there, we're like, put your hands out. And so this would be the ultimate. This girlfriend or grandmother.
Yeah.
Girlfriend or great grandmother. It could be his great grandmother, really.
Could be great.
Like if she's got kids if she's got kids that are 60, they could easily have a kid that's 40.
Yep.
Actually, maybe not just about. Right, maybe, that's pushing it a little bit. It's possible.
Oh yeah, because
she could have a 70-year-old. They could have a 60-year-old, and they could have had him.
Wait, no. A 70-year-old having a 60-year-old.
Sorry, all right. 50-year-old, a 50-year-old. 70-year-old could have had a 50-year-old, and a 50-year-old could have had him. Easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy, job done. Case closed.
That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Well, that was that. I mean, the only other thing I was going to talk about, and it'll be quite brief. I've wanted to talk about it for a while. I was trying to find any excuse to shoehorn it in.
Yeah.
I keep mentioning it, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, you fucks! Why are you talking about this again?" Is autofellatio.
Oh yeah.
And and apparently, like,
for all you lonely souls out there on Valentine's.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the perfect Valentine's thing for someone that without a Valentine's.
Yeah.
Give yourself a Valentine's gift. And apparently, like, the pandemic has been, I read this article. It was actually a Vice article. It was actually really quite worth a read. It's a good article and it's really well written. I'm not going to go through it here, but it calls it like the golden age. Coronavirus is the golden age for people practicing self-suck. And there's obviously there's Reddit subreddits for it.
Yeah, self-suck.
Self-suck is one, yeah. And then there's autofellatio, there is one.
The more high class.
Yeah. I tried. I mean, I went on it briefly. I thought maybe there'll be some interesting insights in that. I couldn't last long on there, I must admit. It was quite graphic. It was all it really was.
A load of guys talking about sucking themselves off on a forum.
It's very niche, isn't it? Yeah. But it's that classic Reddit thing as well, where they're like, and what I was hoping to see more of, but I didn't get deep into it. But there are bits where they're like, "Yeah, bro, nearly there," like, and they're like, "Just keep it up, bro. Like, try these exercises," and they're like really encouraging
They're being
each
really
other.
wholesome.
Yeah, it's like really wholesome.
Is there would there be anything more embarrassing to be walked in on while sucking your own knob? Like, that's just like the ultimate, surely.
Well, I did find that. That's what I found a few stories that were that. And, but I was looking this up for last week, and there were a cut. Not last time we did an episode. I was trying to shoehorn it into that, but I didn't. I couldn't find it again for today. But I found one where there was a bit where people were talking about who's been caught doing self-suck, and there was this one guy that said about like his brother caught him when he was much younger. I think maybe he was 16, 17 doing it. His brother was like 14, and he said he just walked past the window and just saw him doing it. And like, he was like, he definitely saw me doing it. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, looked me right in the eye afterwards and was just like, and he said, obviously we just never spoke about it.
Yeah.
You would have happy to, I mean, imagine getting your head around that, especially if you were like younger and saw your older brother doing it. You'd be like, is this normal? Like, would you talk to your friends about it? Yeah. Is that what you do when you're 17? Is that what I'm going to have to start doing? When do I start doing that?
It's just like the most compromising position in the world.
Yeah. I just think it's a strong niche, isn't it? And when reading about this, there's this one guy that talks about it in the Vice article that, like, it's not like for a lot of people, obviously in the coronavirus thing, it's been an alternative. You ain't going anywhere else, so why not dedicate some time to this? But there's this guy that's been doing it like since the 80s, and there's like this website that's been going like dedicated to it, and he's just like, I'm not sure he can do it quite as much anymore, but he was saying about, like, I see this as just an extra thing that I do, like, I like having sex with partners and I like having sex with myself. And one thing he does, I think is quite a good sell. He was like, imagine, getting oral performed on you by someone that knows exactly what you want and exactly when you want it and can react to you in real time. Exactly. I was like, man's got a point. Man, like, I imagine that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
But then also imagine any time that you had, that person knows exactly what they're doing and how to do it, but then also you have to do it. You also have to suck a cock. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, or just also you don't. Yeah, because you don't get to experience enjoying it as much. I wonder if it's like, like massage. You can't massage yourself. So like, is it?
Yeah, I have. So I read before. It was probably on a Reddit thread where someone was writing something along the lines of, I self suck, and someone replied and said, I've never tried it. Seems weird. I've heard that it feels more like sucking a dick than it does getting your dick sucked. And then the guy's replied was like,
interesting.
Yeah, but I like sucking dick too. So he was fine with it.
Enough.
So if you like sucking dick and getting your dick sucked, then it's probably pretty good.
Yeah. But there's apparently a lot of straight guys do it as well, like on this forum and that, when they're just
Just logistically, I just can't imagine.
Well, mate,
it's more effort.
It takes a lot of dedication. Yeah, more effort than it's worth. Like these dudes, these dudes doing it for months. Like that's why it's, I had a particular renaissance during the coronavirus thing, because people have had a lot of time to dedicate to every day getting up doing yoga, and people talk about specific stretches you can do every morning, get a little bit closer, and then eventually after 6-7 months of doing it, you might get the tip in. Yeah. So
I always love the rumour. I know he's been a bit naughty. Marilyn Manson, there's always the rumour that he'd had ribs removed. That I still don't know whether it was an urban legend or. Yeah,
there's a few people who have had that rumour about him, innit? I think people said about Boy George, I think, had a rib removed, but you don't need a rib removed. You can just do it. You can just do it, and these guys will attest. Well, yeah, I just wanted an excuse to talk about that, to be honest. I just
Rob,
find it quite fascinating.
You're into your yoga and stuff, aren't you?
Well.
So report back to us.
Report back. Give it 6 months. I mean, I didn't want to try drinking my own piss, but maybe I'll try this.
It's not gay as long as you don't cum in your mouth. That's the rule, right?
But apparently that's part of it, though. You have to. If that's what you like, then that's what you like.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, straight, even from A, I don't want to do it, but B, I wouldn't be able to do it. Even if I did yoga for 4 years, I just couldn't.
Oh, no, I believe in you, man. You can do it.
I'll give it a go.
Man,
just for
that's a defeat. That's a defeatist attitude.
Yeah.
I think it's a good example.
I bet that you can. Prove me wrong.
Mind over matter, dedication. It's something you can put on your CV. Are you dedicated? Yes. Yeah. I'll tell you how dedicated I am. I spent 6 months trying to get the tip in.
They say the first inch is the hardest. Physically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Yeah, I've found an excuse to shoehorn in autofellatio. I'm sure it won't be the last time we speak about it.
No, that is classic Curios content.
Yeah, ask me in 6 months how I got on.
To be honest, I'm surprised that wasn't the inaugural topic on the Curios cast. I would have thought something like that would be
Yeah. Well, my mate's been listening to it for recently. He's been going through them all. So I actually texted him the other day and was like, have you noticed us talking about this before? I thought I better check. I thought we must have done.
We've got a Curios historian.
Yeah.
An archivist.
All right, go on, George.
All right, do you want me to go?
Yeah, that's me.
So, we've had a nice couple of cheerful, funny ones. I want to talk about something dark and grim.
Lovely.
But also related to love.
Good.
So, this isn't a news story. This is about a guy and his wife. About a guy called Carl Tanzler. Have you ever heard of this dude?
Don't think so.
I'll send you his Wikipedia page. So he was known for, after his wife died, he got her body out of the grave, took it home, and lived with it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little while.
Macabre.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about a nice macabre body snatch about a guy. Obviously, he was in love with her. He maybe went a step too far in taking her body home and then sort of embalming it. I'll send you a weird picture as well. He put plaster cast around it to sort of keep the body together. Obviously, it was
mummied it. Basically.
Not even mummied it, but obviously it was all falling apart without being too graphic.
Is that legal?
Well, it wasn't legal, and it still isn't legal. But he seems to have sort of got away with it, which is a bit weird. So I'll give you some backstory. So he was working in Florida, I think it was. I'm sure it was Florida. Yeah, in Florida, he met a woman from Cuba called Elena Milagro de Hoyos. And she came he was a doctor, so she came into his surgery for an examination. And up until this point, he'd been having visions, dreams about this woman, dark-haired woman. And then as soon as she came in, he realised this is the woman that he's been seeing in his dreams, in his visions. So he obviously became a bit infatuated with him. However, she caught tuberculosis. So they weren't actually married. Sorry, I got that completely wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't say in the thing that they were married.
Yeah, she was married to someone else.
Right?
Yes, she was married to someone else, and was just a patient. And then she eventually, unfortunately, died of tuberculosis, which was pretty common. I think this was in the sort of mid 1900s, 1930s. So it was still quite, well, it still is quite common, I guess, in some areas. But anyway, so throughout her sort of tuberculosis treatment, he was like trying to woo her, bring her gifts, and told her that he loved her. However, he was rebuffed. I think there was a big age gap between the two. She died after a while. He paid for her funeral, and then also paid to construct like a mausoleum, so a big, what do you call it, a crypt for her body to be in. And he visited there every single night.
Was she older or he was older? He said there was an age gap.
So he was older. So he was a bit older than her. So he would visit every night and sort of sing to outside the tomb and stuff, and just be a bit weird. Bit weird at this point. Like no one sort of told him to maybe, rein in a little bit.
I mean, what can you say though? Everyone mourns differently, I guess.
Yeah, but she's like, their relationship was just he is her doctor.
Sorry. I was opening the article. Okay, that is a bit weird.
Yeah, so that, if it was like,
who's like your partner or a family or like a really good friend or something.
Yeah, rein it in a bit, lad. That's
So anyway, so in 1933, he took her body out of the mausoleum and he took it home to his house, and he attached the corpse's bones together with piano wire and fitted the face with glass eyes. So I'd assume at the time when he took it out, it was already starting to obviously decompose.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, when it started to sort of rot a bit more, he covered it with like a plaster of Paris mask. You can probably see it in that thing I've told you. It's like a really weird photo. I'm assuming it'll be on the screen now.
Yeah, it looks just like a doll.
Yeah, it looks like a mannequin.
It does, doesn't it?
So, and then got her a wig that he got from her mother, which is like another little weird addition. So he stole a wig from the mother and then used that on the doll, and stuffed like the inside of the corpse with rags to make it look like a human shape still. And he kept the body in his bed. So the whole time it was in the house, it was just in his bed. He used to spray like perfume to stop it from smelling and all that sort of stuff.
That'll do it.
So this was in 1933 that he first took the corpse out. So in 1940, so 7 years later, her sister started to hear rumours that he was sleeping with the corpse. He had the corpse of her sister in the house.
Imagine that rumour spreading around. Like, you'd think that's another, rib removal kind of.
Yeah, sleeping as in
rumour.
Physically going to sleep with, or
so he was in the bed. No, it used to be just. I don't think there was any like evidence of that he was like having sex with the body, but he was definitely.
Later on in the article, it does mention that actually.
Yeah, if you've gone that far.
Oh yeah, of course.
You might as well.
It's on there. Yeah.
Like, or if you've had a body sitting, like if you've stolen a dead body, you're dressing it up, sleeping with it in your bed, and that, like,
it's not an unreasonable assumption to assume that a dude that would go that far. Yeah, if a guy has that, probably it's not a leap to think that if he's done all that,
he's
going to might have. Yeah, there's probably. Men are fucked up.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the necrophilia then, because you're right. He did find, or he was found to have been having sex with it. So there was like an autopsy performed on the corpse after it was found. He got discovered with the corpse, by the way. He was caught dancing with it. You can see that thing there, which is a bit weird.
Yeah,
that was how he got caught.
I was going to say, don't skip over that bit. Yeah, dancing from a window,
which is just bizarre.
Who spotted him? Just someone random, I think.
Well, the sister confronted him at the home, but I think that he'd been seen by someone else dancing on the, by the window with the corpse, but doesn't say who.
That's who a vibe, isn't it? That is an absolute vibe.
So, I also just want to. I've just noticed something else. So, the two physicians that performed the autopsy on the body, one was called Dr. DePoo. D.E. Poo. What sort of name is that? That's mad. DePoo.
Yeah.
So they did an autopsy on it, and they found that a vaginal tube had been inserted into the vaginal area of the corpse that allowed for intercourse, which is pretty gross.
Yeah, he's thought about this.
Yeah, so he inserted like a little tube in there. So he sort of got away with it though, because he got sort of assessed mentally, and he was found not insane, or didn't have any sort of mental problems or anything like that.
I mean, it's not exactly normal behaviour. How did they get? Did he carry on being a doctor as well after this? Does it?
I don't think so. No, it says here that he moved afterwards. He moved to Florida, so he didn't even move out of state, which is a bit weird.
That's the thing. In like 1940, you could just move to the next town over and be like, "Hello, I'm not a necrophiliac."
But then he also he seems to have lived quite normally, because he got US citizenship in 1950. So he's sort of been seen to be a functioning member of society after that, and being allowed to reside in the US from 1950, which is a bit weird. And then just as like an additional little caveat, or not caveat, but addition, after he moved away, he used a death mask of Elena. So he'd taken a plaster cast of her face just after she died, which was quite common, I think, back in the day. But he then created like a life-size dummy of the girl, and then lived with that until he died. I think like 2 years later in 1952. So yeah, he lived with. Obviously, he was in love with the woman, but she. It says
something about his wife here, though. So he had a wife as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing
and
that.
She was just remained his wife. Yeah. Whilst he was.
I wonder if she became his wife after, or was his wife.
Yeah, it doesn't mention anything. I want to know more about his wife.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Good point. It doesn't actually say anything about his wife.
No, only just that. His home was near his wife, Doris.
But that sounds like they weren't living together. They were sort of... Obviously, maybe that put a bit of a strain on their relationship.
Just a tad.
It is crazy he got away with it. Like, it says that he went to court, and like you say, he was examined, he was found mentally competent. But the case was eventually dropped, and he was released as the statute of limitations for the crime had expired. So...
It's crazy.
I guess the statute...
So technically, he would have been done for it if they hadn't run out.
But yeah, so it was 7 years. As long as you can keep the body for 7 years and get away with it, you can shag it as much as you want.
But yeah, I don't know how. How is that statute of limitations?
Kyle Jones should bear that in mind when he, his 91-year-old girlfriend, pops her clogs.
Statute of limitations is a weird one, isn't it? Does that only exist in America? We don't have that, do we? I don't think.
No, I don't know. I think we do.
It seems like a well-American thing.
I think some crimes don't have statute of limitations, right? Like murder and stuff like that. But I feel like, I don't know.
There's some countries where it does, though, because I remember hearing about this like mad serial killer, like that was sort of like a gang assassin or something, and he like admitted to all these other killings, but because they were so long ago, they were like, nah.
Couldn't get done for him.
Yeah, and it's something mad. I can't remember where it was. And he's only gets like the maximum penalty you can get in their country is like 15 years. Doesn't matter what it is, that's the maximum you can get in jail or something. So he killed like 40 people, maybe even more. He claims to have killed like 70 or something, and they convicted him of like 12. Yeah. But 15 years, and that was it, and wherever it was, and he's out, and he's just like talks about it all the time.
That's mental. I remember reading there's in Brazil or South America, one of the South American countries, there's a like the world's most prolific child rapist, which is like a horrendous title to have, but he got sent to jail for like a stupid amount of time, like 5 years, and he's out. He's just living free, and he's been accused of raping upwards of like 200 kids or something like that. Like horrendous person. But he's just living free in, I think it's in Peru or somewhere like that.
That's crazy.
Because they're, at the time, back in the 80s or 70s, whenever, that was like the maximum punishment. Just go to prison for like 5 years. And then he did his time, came out.
Damn.
And he's just free. It's crazy.
And you can't do the tried twice thing, can you? For the same,
like double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy. That's
which
it.
is mad. Like I think that's
a great
crazy.
film.
Never watched it.
You know, Double Jeopardy is good. I think it's based on a true story as well. Basically,
I've watched Jeopardy,
Jeopardy,
but not Double Jeopardy.
Basically, this woman gets accused of killing her husband, and it turns out the husband set it up. Like the husband disappeared, run away, faked his death in a way that it looks like she's guilty. So she ends up going to prison for it, and while she's in prison, she's like, there's montage scene of her just getting tough, and then like montages of her like reading books and like investigating and essentially becoming like a sort of like a lawyer level amount of knowledge and basically investigating her own trial and investigating the death of her husband. Finds out that he's obviously not dead and he's hiding and stuff. So she gets out after she's served her sentence for killing him. However many years later, and then the film is her like trying to track down her husband and kill him because she knows she can't get tried again for the same thing. So she's like, I've already served the punishment for killing him, so I might as well kill him.
Yeah, fair play. I might watch that.
I can't remember how it finishes either, so I can't spoil it.
Good, excellent. Yeah.
I'm going to add it to my list.
Yeah, watch that.
Good.
Well, that was cheery, Joel. Just a cheery one. Thanks for that.
Nice, disgusting, grim one. I remember there's a similar story of in Mexico. There was in a shop window. It was a mannequin in the shop window, but no one knew that for years and years this shop owner had an actual body in the window of a girl that he'd fallen in love with, but had sort of died, and he'd taken the body out of the grave and put it in the window. Which is
fucking hell. How did people not think? What? Why did they just think that was a mannequin?
Well, I think in the same way as this guy did, he
probably just
covered it with
looks like a mannequin,
like plaster of Paris or some shit.
And people just thought it was a creepy mannequin. Like, just thought, that's a weird one. Like,
horrendous. So don't do that this Valentine's night.
You better off sucking yourself off by a long shot.
In fact, I'd say, suck yourself off. Do not take your dead lover's body, put it in plaster of Paris, and keep it in a shop window for 5 years.
Top tips.
Yeah. So my next story is a bit happier. This is the Nigerian playboy Pretty Mike, who has 6 pregnant girlfriends.
Oh, cool. Fucking hell.
If you've seen this guy. So this is a guy from Nigeria.
Living up to his name, right?
And he's recently attended, or this was a couple of months ago, but he attended a wedding with 6 girlfriends. So 6 of his girlfriends who are all pregnant, and they're all in similar stages of the pregnancy. So
that must be a fucking nightmare.
But he can't marry them because marrying multiple women isn't allowed in Nigeria. But it's just like a funny little story. He's also been known before to, he got sort of notorious on social media because he walked I don't know if they're the same women or they're different girlfriends, but he was walking them on chains on leads, at different weddings. Obviously completely consensually. It wasn't like, but obviously, I think that was probably more for like social media, trying to get attention and
just a bit
controversy and stuff like that. So he attended a wedding recently with his 6 wives, rubbed their bellies, and posted a picture on Instagram saying, "PM, so Pretty Mike and his 6 baby mothers to be. No film trick. We're just living our best life. # a better time." He's obviously spreading his business about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess there's quite a bit of camaraderie for the women, if you pregnant women like hanging out with other pregnant women, I guess, so you can like talk about how you're getting on and
bit weird.
Trying to look at the positives.
It may be stressful, wouldn't it?
Oh mate, fuck me, would that be stressful? Imagine getting to like month 8 and like he's running out to like all these different shops, getting all this bizarre food,
he ain't doing
coming
shit.
in. No, he's not doing shit, is he? A guy doing that is not doing shit.
That is a funny little. That's a good little sitcom sketch, I reckon.
Yeah. What's he called? Pretty Mike.
Pretty Mike. Yeah.
Pretty Mike. He must be fucking pretty.
A club.
If he's got these 6 gone. How pretty is Pretty Mike? I want to see him.
He's pretty. I'll send you the link. I mean, he's a handsome guy. Obviously, maybe pretty wealthy by the looks of things because he's got, he's pretty flash. I think he owns a couple of clubs in Nigeria. He's also given sex advice as well, which.
Well, he's pretty potent, isn't he?
So I'm gonna. So this is
pretty Mike. Look at him.
Something he posted. This isn't my words. So this is a claim. He says women can't be real friends to men because you all will use them for male advice, someone to vent to, heavy lifting, a shoulder to lean on, etc., etc. Why did I say etc.? But the second he is at his lowest point and asks you to borrow some pussy, you all act like you don't have it. I don't really know what that means.
But, I don't know what that means. That's a great photo down the bottom of him being carried by these 6 muscly dudes with their shirts off. Isn't that one?
It looks like they're about to drop him.
It looks like that coffin meme.
He could have got blokes that were more evenly like in height. It looks
I'll spread them out a bit. Like his right is definitely a little bit taller than his left.
Yeah, this guy on the front right he's struggling a bit.
Yeah.
Look
at that. That's a legendary way to arrive to a wedding.
There's a photo of 4 of them in bed with him as well. It's good.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Yeah. Pretty Mike. I mean, if they're happy, are they all happy really? Are all these 6 women?
They look happy. But
he's a picture of a weird sex doll down the bottom as well.
And that one's a bit out of like place, isn't it?
Why does he need that as well? Like, what does he fucking
clubs? Yeah. And him on looking fancy, and at the bottom he's just with a really shit sex doll.
It's not even like Harmony, is it? Like that, the high end ones.
Why? Yeah, there's nothing in the post about sex doll. What's he talking about? Oh well. So yeah, that's pretty Mike. What a lad! We should try and interview him. I don't know how easy it would be to pretty Mike. That should be pretty good. So another little quick one that I've got is I came across this on the Mirror classic, just like a selection of people. I think it's from Reddit. It's a selection of people's worst things that have happened during sex, or worst like things that have happened to their significant other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like little quickfire ones, and there's no context around them as well. It's just like they've taken the quote and that's it. So this one says, mini lava lamp stuck in the rectum, power cord was sticking out like a tail.
Nice.
There's this one. Uncle-in-law had a patient come in that had poured concrete in his own arse whilst trying to make a custom dildo.
He wanted it to be the exact shape of his arse.
And then in capitals it says they had to chisel the concrete out of his rectum.
Yeah, I bet.
Jesus.
It sounds fucking awful.
That is ridiculous.
I'm surprised it's set, to be honest. Wouldn't it? Is that the right condition? I guess it would. Wouldn't it?
Anyway, right? Yeah, I don't know.
That's like that girl who put Gorilla Glue in her hair. You hear about that? That was good.
No.
Oh, Gorilla Glue is just a brand of like really strong super glue in America. And there was a story literally a couple of days ago. This girl thought she could use it as there's like a spray version of it, and she thought she could use it to spray her hair and be basically really good hairspray or whatever. And it's just like wrecked her head. And it was all online, and all these doctors are replying like, do this, do that, and she's trying to sue Gorilla Glue now because it doesn't say not to put it in your hair.
Oh Jesus, that's so American.
Yeah, classic.
Like,
American.
What is it like? Made an actual head rash or something? Like, is it fucked their actual head up or just ripped their hair out?
I can't remember. I don't know. I sort of think. I think she had to cut all her hair off or something. Like nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
My mate Josh, when we were at uni, he made this. For some reason, he decided for this one gig we're going to do, he was going to have a huge mohawk. I think he was getting a haircut anyway. He had long hair and was getting it all cut and was like, just for this one thing, I'm going to have a mohawk. And he made this mohawk like it was like up here. It was crazy. Like, and he had to get he was like Googling it and stuff how to do it, and he had to get cardboard and then Pritt stick was the best thing to use, and we helped him draw it, sort of cover it in Pritt stick like this with the cardboard as a frame, and then he went walking about and actually managed to play this gig with this mohawk. I'll try and find some pictures of it. It was crazy.
Well, there was a guy at uni that, when I went the first time who had a mohawk. He was famous on campus for having a mohawk. I mean, it's impressive. I don't know how.
You got to do it every day. How do you sleep with that? Because I think Josh I can't remember if he gave up on it that night or was like, but he couldn't. Like, once you go to bed with it, that's game over.
Yeah.
Or unless you sleep in your fucking cardboard frame.
You have to sleep. You have to sleep sitting up.
Yeah. Dedicated punks. We should get some punks on to ask him that.
Get Reese on. Reese needs to come on. We've been waiting for him. This one's horrible. This is 26-year-old decided to be circumcised. Afterwards, his doctor told him not to have sex. He didn't listen, and it peeled like a banana. Ooh, it's awful, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely awful.
That's grim.
That's grim.
A Florida man came in with an avocado shoved way up his arse. After much lube and whatever they gave him to relax his body, the thing shot out like a cannonball and splattered against the wall.
Oh no! Splattered against the wall.
I think you can probably name any household item and it's been up an arse.
Yeah.
People just love it. People love putting things up their arsehole.
What was that thing, you know, like on South Park, putting a hamster up?
Yeah, gerbil.
A gerbil.
Yeah.
It's not a real thing, surely. People don't put
I think it's one of those common things that people say, like people used to talk about it like years and years ago, that people would, that like gay men would do it.
Yeah.
But whether it's actually
it's in an Eminem song. In fact, like the chorus or the hook goes, shove a gerbil in your ass, through a tube, through a tube. Shove a gerbil in your ass, through a tube, through a tube.
I mean, if it wasn't a thing, it probably is by now, isn't it? Like, someone's probably tried
They've made
it.
it a thing. Yeah.
Poor fucking gerbils.
Yeah.
Last one, I'm going to just do one more. I had a couple, but I want to stray away from like sad things. So this is just another classic mirror story. I love it. A frisky couple who had sex on bench outside Sainsbury's. Don't see the problem with it. The pair who romped on the bench outside the supermarket in Hull say it was dark and they were in the mood. I'll send you a.
I swear we had one like this the other day, like one like so similar where it was just they banged and just didn't give a crap.
The way this is written is brilliant. There's like, it's just a classic. It seems like not a real article. I'll send you the article in just a second. But it says here, the couple, both street drinkers, that have, that's like their, they've been defined as street drinkers. They've explained it was dark and we were in the mood. Emma and her partner, who did not want to be named, however, his picture's on here, so I don't really understand.
I feel like maybe I've read this and not shared it because this is really familiar to me.
Potentially, I think this is from a couple of weeks ago. I know it's from a while ago actually. Sorry, this is old news. But yes, they say they saw no problem romping on the bench. So it sounds like quite an area that's like known for it, or at least known for like people kicking off and drinking and all that sort of stuff.
That's Hull.
Yeah, in Hull. So Emma, this is brilliant. Emma, who has been seen having sex on the bench before with her boyfriend, said she does not think it's a problem. This is a quote from her. Yeah, we've had sex on the bench before, and I've noshed him off as well. But what's the issue? It was dark and we were in the mood, and it didn't do anyone any harm. We're nice people, and all people need to do is just come up to us and say hello if they've got a problem. We don't bite. Yeah, we might ask people if they've got a cig or if they can give us a bit of spare change, but they can say no, and we don't get nasty or anything.
I love that, adding that in. Yeah, we might ask you for 50p or something, but...
I love it. There's a picture of the bench. I'm going to send you this article. Like this bench, it's more about the bench really than like anything else. Not about sucking off or the sex in public. It's about this bench. So her boyfriend, who did not want to be named, agreed with his partner and was also openly proud of the couple's sexual antics. He says,
"There's a big old picture of it in there. He's not exactly."
He says, "This is my bench. I come here with my girlfriend, and if we get a bit frisky when we've had a drink, then so what? I'm sure everyone who's had a drink knows what it's like when you get a bit horny."
Cool.
And he also says, "I might ask someone if they've got 20p, but I don't care if they say no, and I just thank them anyway."
He actually mentions the amount, like I just said.
For us, it's just somewhere to hang about, have a laugh, and have a drink. This is someone else, Bobby, who is a heroin user. He says, "I'm a heroin user, so I don't often drink really. Only have some beers now and again, so it's not like I'm here pissed off my face. I just come out here to socialise." No, he's not pissed off his face. He's just like off his face on heroin.
Yeah, I love how he says that as like, no, look, let me get this right. Yeah. I'm a heroin user. I'm not an alkie. Like, I'm fucking hell. Come on.
at least I'm not noshing someone off.
Yeah.
And then it's got a quote from the police just saying it's, an area with a good community spirit, but they recognise that there's antisocial behaviour around it. So it's just a good little British.
It's much more in the middle of the street than I thought it was going to be.
It's like classic outside.
Right outside of Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
Other supermarkets that have sex outside of are available.
Multiple pictures of the bench.
Yeah. Different angles, just in case you weren't sure what a bench was.
I thought it was going to be maybe like a bench in the corner of a car park or something like that, but it's
not.
It's
I was
like
thinking that.
Not like a road off the high street or something.
Yeah,
That's
or
classic.
at least like in a town centre where it's a bit away. No, this is just very much on the street.
Just next to a chicken shop as well.
Yeah.
Well,
nice.
Again, at least as long as they're happy.
Yeah, fair play to them,
You're only sitting around, might ask someone for 20p,
All
might
I'll
have
say
sex
is,
on a bench. Those are the things I do.
Why you wouldn't want your identity included in the article, but you're happy to pose for a photo, 2 photos.
Yeah, he's really, really pleased about that. I mean, he's probably not. I mean, I don't want to make assumptions here, but he's probably not the sort of guy that completely thinks through things through all the way to the end. He doesn't seem entirely consequence based, so he may not have thought that one all the way through.
Yeah, I also, again, I don't want to make assumptions, but I don't think he's the guy who's worried too much about his like future employment prospects.
That's the point of George. He's worried enough that doesn't want to give his name, but here's me with me can of Murphy's.
He probably
the bench.
He probably doesn't care if people know he's had sex on the bench. He just doesn't want people to know his real name.
Yeah. They can see him walking about and be like, "There's the sex on the bench, man."
Yeah.
As long as he can still, apply for a gyro. I
suppose it's a bit like Batman. People see him, but they still don't know who he is. They don't know he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's true. He's just the sex bencher.
Yeah.
The bench sexer.
The nosher offer. Oh no, he's getting noshed off. He's not noshing off.
The noshed off.
Noshed offer.
Well, thanks for that, George. That was wholesome.
There you go. Nice little wholesome one to end on.
My one's quite wholesome as well. So, trucker found love by texting number scrawled on a toilet wall, offering a good shag. So, essentially, a single trucker decided to text a mobile phone number he found scrawled on a toilet wall. But what began as a whim turned into the greatest love of all for Mark Ellis and Donna Roberts. It says the 51-year-old of Briarhouse, West Yorkshire, discovered the number while using the toilet at his local pub. So the number was actually written on the wall by Donna's ex. So he was obviously pissed off after breaking up with her or whatever, and he wrote the unflattering message, which I don't think it is unflattering. If you want a good shag, call Donna on, and then the phone number.
Yeah, so that's not really unflattering at all.
I think that is quite flattering, right?
Yeah.
So, what was his name? Mark. Mark done what any man would do, and he decided to text the number. And he wrote,
I want a good shag, I'll be honest.
He wrote, "Hi, what are you up to?"
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's
did he even say
amazing.
like where he got the number from or anything? Just said, "What are you up to?" And then it says, the love-struck trucker said, "I was curious to know if it was a real human being. We still laugh about it." Yeah.
It must be awkward, like if people ask, "Oh, how did you two meet then?"
Yeah, it says.
Yeah. It's a good one, though, isn't it? It's a good story.
It is a good story, yeah. Donna is a legal secretary. She was first perplexed by how Ellis had found her number. But the couple soon struck up a conversation and met just days later. The couple now have 2 kids, aged 8 and 9, though they are unaware of how their parents first met.
Up until now.
Yeah, he says when people ask, he usually just says, "I usually say that he texted me by mistake."
I wonder what she thinks about the fact that her husband, at one time in his life, was texting random numbers on toilet doors to have sex.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, it seriously backfired for the ex-boyfriend, didn't it? As well, like that is that couldn't have backfired harder. I guess in his head,
he did get a good shag out of it.
Yeah. In his head, he was thinking, she's going to get texts off some pricks in the pub, and she's going to get a little bit wound up by it. That's what he was thinking would happen, I guess.
Yeah.
But absolute backfire there, mate. So gutted.
The moral of the story is if you see a phone number in a toilet, give it a text. You don't know where it might lead. To the love of your life. Maybe a new job is at the other end of it. You might get some. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get.
Have you ever seen a number in a toilet that's offering anything other than sex? Are there numbers
dogs for sale?
Is there like a Yellow Pages?
Or just someone looking for, if you're just looking for an Xbox Live partner, add my gamer tag, please.
Might start doing that.
Yeah.
I have added. When I this was
looking for a new podcast to listen to.
Oh yeah, maybe
I do enjoy. We should do that. I enjoy the
QR
code or in toilets where people have added to it over time. So like initially someone was written one thing, and then someone else has chimed in with something else, and someone's responded. At university, it was always good. There was always like a running update of. I can't remember the exact context, but I enjoy that sort of stuff where people have.
Yeah, you normally get it in
piss out of someone, and then someone comes back with something else. Might have been the same person that's come back, a month later or something like that.
You normally get in like geezer work toilets, don't you?
Yeah.
Where someone was like,
When I was in Zante, I was like,
what a lad.
Yeah, this is when we were
like lad.
This is when we were like 19, so not too long ago. But when we was in Zante, on 2 separate nights, one of my mates had to go to the hospital. So on the first night, one of my mates had to go to the hospital, so he's in the room getting looked at by the doctors and shit. And me and my other mate, we're having the time of our life because we're pissed out of our head, and we're just like sitting on the sofa in like the waiting room, just laughing because there was this massive guest book that you could write in, and it's not like most guest books where it's like, had a lovely stay or whatever. It's all just pissed up English people just writing in it, and they're just like, fucking love this hospital, or like, just had to shit bizarre. In a cup, laugh out loud. And
why is there a guest book in a hospital?
It was just funny. Like, you're just sitting there and we were dying laughing. And
I think it's because they know that was going to be the outcome.
Probably,
just...
There was one in there that said, it said like, message me for nudes, and then like a Snapchat name. So I done it. Like I added the Snapchat, and then just sent a picture of like me and my mate with the book or something like that, being like, you're gonna live up to your promise. And she didn't. Like, she sent back a picture of her broken foot or something. Like, that's why she was in the hospital. And like, I think her mates had, like, she was getting her foot looked at, and her mates had obviously written that in the books and written like messages to get nudes. So what I'd done was the second time I was in the hospital. Again, it was a different mate was getting looked at by the doctors, and
fuck's sake,
went back to the guest book again. Just having a fucking laugh.
Fucking hate working in that hospital.
They were actually loving it because they're well up for a laugh. They know that like people were coming in pissed. But I wrote my Snapchat in there, and I said the opposite. I said like, this is such a 19-year-old thing to write a book, but I was like, message. I said like, send a picture of your injury, and then in brackets just or boobs, and then wrote my Snapchat name in there, and it for a good like, they kept this book for ages because the book was really thick, like it was a good few inches thick, and we was only at the front of it, so they obviously had only had it not that long, and it was I could always tell when it would be like the week after. Obviously, kids from sixth form break up and all these 18-year-olds go on holiday, because I'd wake up and maybe once a week or so, I'd just have a new picture in my, like, a message on Snapchat from a random name. And I'd look at it and it would usually just be a picture of like some bloke sitting on on the bench, or it would be a picture of someone's foot that's broken, or someone with a swollen eye, or something like that.
That's the sort of thing you could turn into like a coffee table art book. Like,
it's quite good.
Memories from, or like, the
it could definitely be art.
Just of people, like random pissed up blokes in that hospital.
One thing here, though, you said usually So does that mean you did get a picture of boobs?
I didn't get one picture of boobs. No, there was no. I think there was this one girl who replied. She sent a picture of her. There was a lot of broken feet. I guess I think it's a lot of girls obviously wearing like heels and stuff, and then getting really pissed, and like they're out on these cobblestone streets and they just wreck their ankles and shit.
It makes me feel ill.
But
the idea of someone in heels, but their foot snapping.
And I remember, this girl sent a picture of her foot like in a cast, and I was like, "You're gonna send boobs or something?" Because me and my mates were in the pub at the time, and she was like, "No," but then she added me as a friend on Snapchat and just sent me kind of weekly updates on her foot. It was just be a random picture of her foot, and I don't think
you have to pay for that stuff on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
now.
true. So, I don't think I ever replied. I think I'd just be randomly sitting there, and one day my mates would be like, "Oh, have you got another like foot pic from that girl?" Like, yeah. And in the end, it like her foot fully healed, and she just sent me a photo of her foot out of the cast, all healed, and then deleted me. And then, and I was like, all right, fair enough. Nice. That's the end of the journey. That's the story. That's
brilliant.
And that was it. Never had a conversation. Like, didn't nothing. But
I like that. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good use of the internet, right there.
Yeah, I think they must have got rid of the book. It probably got full up, and they probably changed it out of a new one because it lasted about 2 years of me getting these photos in the summer.
2 years though. That's a long time.
And then it just stopped.
Back, Tom.
I should go. I need to go back to Zante. Go back to that hospital.
Yeah.
If anyone's going Zante,
we'll get someone to.
Yeah. This last one, I'm going to be very quick with it because there's not really much more to say. I liked it because of this girl's name. So basically, woman marries daughter after the two of them hit it off. So it's a pretty shit story, really. Like, it's quite disgusting. But this lady, Patricia Ann Spann, her name is. Her surname is Spann, Spann. So Patricia Ann Spann. And her daughter, whose name I think sounds like a air freshener or something, Misty Velvet Dawn Spann. Misty Velvet Dawn Spann.
Velvet's a weird name to have, like as a middle name.
Yeah,
Velvet.
But they were both arrested, I think. They got married in Oklahoma. She's 43. She lost custody of her daughter, who's 25. Lost custody when they were young, and then they were adopted by their grandmother. And then they didn't have contact until they were older. And then they were reunited.
She's 43 and her daughter's 25.
Yeah.
So she was like, how old? 16?
17. No. I don't know. 18? 18, yeah.
18, okay.
So yeah, she lost custody. And then the grandmother raised them. She reunited with them 2 years ago. And then they hit it off so well that she married her daughter.
It's a bit weird.
Pretty grim. And then
just a bit.
You scroll down and it says, "This is not the first time Patricia Spann has married one of her children."
Oh, fuck off.
Court records show an annulment between Patricia and her son in 2010. The two married in 2008.
How
are they doing this?
I was talking about this earlier. When they say
thing?
When they say they married, how did they marry? Well, like they managed
under different names or something.
Yeah, they didn't tell her.
Well, yeah, it says.
Or are they doing it to claim like some sort of insurance? Is it like fraud or something? Are they doing it for that reason, or are they doing it because they?
No, they hit it off. That's weird. That's what it says. But it says
they hit it off. Well, like that's such a weird way of putting it. Oh yeah, it got on. Got on, so they had to marry, obviously.
Well, Patricia told officials that she thought the marriage was okay because her name wasn't the same as her daughter's on the birth certificate. Like,
so that's how they got away with it then, I guess.
Yeah.
They just didn't tell them that they were...
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
it's not okay,
that's some Greek tragedy shit. That is not okay, Patricia, yeah.
Was it Oedipus?
It is.
The Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
Horrendous. Didn't he kill himself in the end? I'd kill myself.
He stabs his eyes out with pins.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's great way to end.
I was, for some reason, earlier on, I was reading about weird deaths. There's a Wikipedia page called Unusual Deaths. And I thought, one of our episodes, I think we've talked about it before, maybe doing a weird death episode.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But there was one, I remember being told about it at school. I can't remember what king it was, like one of the kings of England, might be King Edward I or something like that. He got killed by a assassin who stabbed him. He was hiding in his toilet, so actually inside his, like an old school castle toilet where it's just a pit and a little plank. He was hiding in there. As soon as the king sat down, he stabbed him up the arse with a sword and killed him.
Cool, savage.
That's a pretty embarrassing way to be executed.
That's what we were talking about last episode with like festivals where they've got the big trough toilets. And there's always the rumour that someone will be swimming under there.
Didn't someone I read a story. Someone was found in, like, he had a fetish. I think we might have spoken about it on an old episode.
No, I think we at least spoke about it the other day, saying that that's always a rumour that someone was swimming about in it and was. Yeah. Oh no, we did speak about it. No, it was one Lawford brought up a guy. He had like cameras,
got caught, didn't he? Yeah,
in like behind urinals. Yeah, he'd sit there.
No, it's not that one. Not that one.
Not that guy. There's multiple
in
guys.
Southend, didn't it?
That was Southend.
Yeah, it was.
There was like a fake wall behind all the urinals, wasn't it? And he was in. Yeah,
he was like pissing, and someone was like having a wee. Like looked down and was like, "What the fuck is that? It's an eyeball," and he could see an eyeball like in the
he's looking
in the urinal gap, and he was like,
"Imagine that if you're pissing, you see an eye, and like you're thinking like, am I seeing something, or is that like a fake eye, like someone's drawn that, and then you see it like blink, and you're like, oh fuck,
Look, I've just this guy, I'm sure I was convinced that I read this, and it's true. A guy was found hiding inside the waste tank of a portable toilet at a festival, So
it actually is true, all the rumours people say.
His thing was obviously getting pooed on. So you just hide inside the toilet and just enjoy the act of all that lovely brown all over him.
Well,
nice. Well, happy Valentines.
Happy Valentine's Day. Probably not the podcast people were expecting, although you should expect that.
I'd say it's
unless you're a first-time listener.
It's about probably what they're expecting. I don't think they were tuning into this expecting it to be romantic and sit down with your partner and listen to this over wine and. Well, you still could.
Yeah, they might. Yeah,
definitely could.
This is for anyone that sat down with their partner and listened to this on Valentine's Day. If there's anyone that did that. Send us a picture. Yeah, big ups. Massive big ups.
Just to end us off, I'm not going to give any more context about this. This is going to be a little thing for the listener to take away. I'm just going to read this out. It says, "This chameleon may be the world's tiniest reptile, but its genitals are huge."
Awesome. There we go. See you next time.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.